Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode number 1068. Double shot number interview. I have technically these are two Superman trades. I'll talk about the second one in a minute. Soon. First up, it is Smallville season 11, volume 4, Argo. Yep, that's what this one's called. Written by Brian Q. Miller. Artwork by Dan Hodder. I think I pronounced the guy's name. Yeah. The other artist in here is Rodney Bachima and Cat Staggs. And Carrie... Yeah, just Cat Staggs. The cover artist here is done by Pete Woods. Yep. This story is... I should point out, though, that the main story in here is taken from the main book. There's just, the Valkyrie stuff is just basically a one-shot return of Lana Lang for the first time since, I think it was like back in, if I remember correctly, I think it was back in season 8 was her last appearance, when she was basically had to leave the country because she was in a kryptonite lace suit. Overall, it was a really good story. Just her team up with Lois Lane and feature return of frickin' Metallo. As for the main story itself, it's just Booster Gold and Superman. Now, the story starts off with return of Booster Gold for the first time since it's one episode he appeared in the series. Yeah, in case you're wondering, that is what Booster Gold's suit looked like in the show. Yeah, with the whole corporate logo stuff. Yeah, that's all completely true. Skeets pretty much looks like the way it's in the show. Except they actually have him talk because in the show, he didn't talk very much. Here he talks a lot. Yep. Now, Booster Gold just flying around. All of a sudden, you have this Legion Protocol 6 activate. We don't know what the heck this is until like toward the end of the storyline here. The whole point of the Argo stuff is because something related happened at the end of Season 9 for Smallville. Yes, a follow-up to that. What happened in Season 9? Well, a group of clone Kryptonians, which was on Earth and basically couldn't get the power of Yellow Sun, though they could power Red Sun, mind you, was an off-planet thanks to the Book of Rao to another planet and called their planet Argo, a lost colony, mind you. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Basically, Superman and Booster are sent to the future of the 31st century. First time in the Smallville canon they've actually gone to the future. And feature return to Legion Superheroes. Basically, Cosmic Boy, Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, and Brainiac 5. Yep. Though Brainiac 5 is not drawn like James Masterson like he was in the show. Yeah, for some reason, that's because it's kind of weird how they picked Brainiac in the show. It's like, they don't have him with the green skin and the 3 little things on his forehead. Nope, it's just James Marsden. Yep, just James Marsden, just a normal looking guy. Despite the fact this guy's supposed to be an alien or a freaking robot, unknown why that the Smallville makeup team was so lazy with this character. Like, okay, we bring in Brainiac, fine, but it's just James Marsden in a suit. Okay, he was later seen in the series supposedly 200th episode, though it was actually episode 199. Yeah, it's just James Marsden with the Legion ring. That's all it was. I'm like, okay, yes. That was by far the only disappointment with Brainiac 5 in the show. Luckily enough, in the clips from images I saw for Brainiac 5 in Supergirl, yeah, they actually have him look like the way he does in the comics. The green skin, the blonde hair, not just laziness with no put any makeup. And yet they look like he's freaking human even though he's a Kaldor. Yeah, he's a freaking alien. Yep, what happened? Now, what's going on in Leeds timeline? Apparently, New Krypton, yeah, they bring up New Krypton here, and they have conquered part of the world, mainly Metropolis. And they also have their own Doomsday. Yep, Doomsday makes a return in this storyline. And they also reference something else that happened in I think it happened in season 9 with the whole thing of David Bloom. Yeah, they referenced him. I think it was that one, yeah. They referenced what happened to David Bloom, and where basically Clark split him in half. Doomsday was trapped at Earth's core, apparently for 1,000 years, and he woke up in present day. Oh, and I love in here, they actually have a nod to his debut in the comics, when they first show him in here. I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, look at this. That is a clear nod to how he was first depicted in the comics. Plus, I love this cover. Yeah, a clear homage to the Death of Superman storyline. Yep, we also see the return of Supergirl. Yep. Yeah, from her one episode. The last time she appeared in the series, I think was also season 8. Yeah, a lot of episodes, season 9. Where she's basically become her own hero called Supergirl. And then after the episode, she disappeared. Never appeared again in the show. I think because the writers had no idea what to do with the character after that. Here they give a official explanation what happened to her. She was sent to the future. Yep. Also, it's revealed the Booster's ring was actually Clark's ring. Yes. And that was sent to 25th century. So they explain that in here. And the whole thing with Doomsday is that well, he's supposedly a creation what happened with Fiora, General Zod's lover and lieutenant. Yeah, they mentioned that Zod actually killed her in the show. How? With his freaking heat vision. And he didn't even know his lover was pregnant with his child. He had no idea. Yep, and then apparently one of their plans was looking for Fiora's tomb. Clark and Supergirl, well, Superman and Supergirl actually find it, no problem. And they do basically, apparently, just like, apparently like I think it's, the first dictator of Russia. She's preserved in freaking glass. And they, apparently someone that's been there, it turns out it was actually the person who's supposedly the minister of New Krypton. Oh yeah, and apparently this other minister who was the leader of the Earth Gov. I'm like, okay, what about the Intergalactic Federation? That's what it's called in the comics. Why call it Earth Gov for? It just makes no sense. Yeah. So they eventually fix his Booster's ring, and then of course Clark and Superman and Booster are sent back to the past, while Supergirl stays in the future. She has a new mission. What? She has no idea. Probably protecting the world of the future. Yep. This book is fantastic. Love it. If you're a fan of the Smallville show, you would definitely enjoy this. Basically, it's like the whole point of this storyline is just... Oh yeah, and also a fun fact, they also have the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle show up in here at the start of this. Yeah, he shows up briefly, and the next time we see the guy is actually in the Titans one-shot. Yeah, related to Smallville, which I thought was really good. So mostly, a lot of this book was simply follow-up to Season 9 of Smallville. That's simply put what this book was. And the return of Booster Gold and the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle was fantastic. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. Next up is Superman-related book, though it's a character from Wildstorm. This is Majestic, Strange New Visitor. This collects 3 issues of 3 different Superman books. These are written by Dan and Andy Lanning. This is basically Action Comics 811, Avengers Superman number 624, Superman number 201, and the 4-issue miniseries of Majestic. Yep, Majestic. A character who has never put a sort of a ripoff of Superman, and you can tell by this cover, if you don't know what this cover is a homage to Superman number 1 from 1939. Yep, and that's not the only time they do it here. We also have a homage to Action Comics number 1. Yep, they do that in here for the main for the Superman issue. Yep, which I thought was so cool. I'm not sure what this one for 624. This is the cover for it. I have no idea what this is supposed to be referenced to. Yeah, I have no idea. As for the other ones, it could be anything else related to Superman. Yep. Yeah, in case if you're wondering who the heck this guy is in Red Cape, that's the Eradicator. You're like, wait a minute, the Eradicator didn't he have green goggles and have a Superman costume in Death of Superman, Return of the Reign of Superman? Yes, he did. This actually is the original look from when he looked back at Action Comics in number 2. Yep. Now, the whole thing with this is that some crazy stuff is happening, so Superman is missing. So Majestic takes over for a few issues for this 3-part storyline. It's simply Majestic meeting up with the Superman cast. Mostly just Lois, Jimmy, and Perry White. Majestic, despite the fact he's not Kryptonian, he's a warlord of a different planet. He speaks very competently, he speaks like someone who's a very good, competent leader. I appreciate Dan and write this character. That he gives people proper instructions, like Because apparently Perry is the first person to by his name Majestic. He's like, you're in charge here? Yes. I want you to evacuate this building in a very calm fashion because they'll listen to you. They won't listen to me. Perry's like, that's cool. I got no problem with that. Okay, everybody go to exits 5 through 7. Yep. So yeah, it's like Majestic is really kind of similar to Superman in a way, but basically slightly different, but not a carbon copy of Superman, which you can at least appreciate them doing that. And he just goes around. Eventually, he meets up with John Henry Irons, aka Steel, Natasha Irons, his niece, and the Eradicator. And here's the thing: the only person who trusts him is frickin' Lois. Cause why not? Yep. But everybody mistakes him for being Superman. Yep. Briefly, at one point, he's sent to the frickin' Phantom Zone, though he gets out no problem at all, though it's probably due to his powers. And he does trust Lois because apparently Lois is the one who trusts him. No one else does. Eventually, he does have the problem. He actually does meet Superman at the end of the three-parter. And apparently he holds, apparently it's implied he holds a whole diner hostage. He was able to actually eat his meal, no problem, and have a very good conversation with Superman, which I at least appreciate that. This whole three-parter leads into his 4-issue miniseries, all some of the same creators as well. It's simply put, Majestic adjusting to life. Now, he's from the Wildstorm universe, because he mentions the Wildcats, so he basically established some secret identity. He hears something, and he basically, thanks to authority, basically he stops a baseball coach who's very abusive toward his own players, and he gets him to resign. Yep. And of course, the Eradicator shows up in here. Yes, he also was suffering partial amnesia for some reason. I have no idea why. He fights the Eradicator, though he also fights a demon, those alien creatures that he's basically known for fighting these creatures, and these creatures also have the pages of Grifter for some reason. I have no idea why, but that's simply what it is. Eventually, at the end of the storyline, you have Superman meet up again with him, and it says, we're having a conversation, and we don't get further because that's the end of the miniseries. Yeah. This whole stuff with Majestic is fantastic. We get the Majestic miniseries basically just gives sort of flashback to his time at some planet of Kidra. Yeah, his real name is Majeros, but Majestic is a more simplified name. Yeah, he's just basically another rip-off. He's basically a pastiche of Superman. But here's the odd thing: did this character ever show up in the current continuity? Yes, in Team 7 of all places. Yes, Team 7. Yep, Team 7. Where he was a project. And he was sort of villain for some reason. I have no idea why. Yep. Now, it doesn't list off in here who created Majestic. Nope. The cover art in here is done by Ed McGuinness. Yep, the interior artwork is done by Carl Kitshaw, Renato Geddes, and Osler Albert. They're the ones who does the interior artwork. Yep, I'm trying to look up see who created them. Here he is. Found him. Mr. Majestic, created by Jim Lee and H.K. Prodder. I think he did have his own miniseries. Yeah, he had his own solo book published by Wildstorm. Yeah. And simply just basically a pastiche for Superman. But this is, of course, really good. It's surprising that DC has never given this guy his own ongoing series. He's interesting enough to be one. I mean, you could have Dan Abnett write it. I mean, there's nothing stopping you. Though he hasn't shown up recently. Yeah. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. I have one more review scheduled for today, That's a view of the newest episode of Boruto, and that's pretty much it. Okay, see you next view. Bye.